On this day in 1963, Jimmy Johnstone made his debut for Celtic. Celtic recorded an impressive 4-1 victory over reigning champions Dundee at Celtic Park on Saturday the 23rd of March 1963, although the win saw them still languishing in 5th place in the table. But it came at a cost, with Frank Haffey, Billy McNeill, John Hughes and Bobby Murdoch all requiring treatment on the Monday morning. The Evening Times of the 25th of March also reported that reserve players John Cushley, Bobby Lennox, Jimmy Johnstone and Steve Chalmers were also on the treatment table. Peter Hendry wrote, "All the invalids were due back at Celtic Park after lunch again for further treatment. It all adds up to a Celtic headache and a last-minute team selection for Wednesday's game." Celtic were due to play second-placed Kilmarnock in midweek, and there was further bad news on the morning of the match after John Divers had a mishap at home. The Evening Times of the 27th of March 1963 reported, "Inside forward John Divers is the latest star to join Celtic's huge casualty list. He may not play against Kilmarnock at Rugby Park tonight for this reason. Last night, when he was running up the stairs to his home, he stubbed his big toe. This morning, he limped into Parkhead with a broken nail and a very sore foot indeed. A worried Mr. Jimmy McGrory said today, 'Divers is far from fit at the moment, but with some doctoring he might make it. The best we can say is that he is doubtful.'" Unable to name a team until the last moment, it was a makeshift Celtic that lined up Madden, Young, Kennedy, Mackay, Cushley, Price, Johnstone, Craig, Chalmers, Gallagher, Brogan. Also making their debuts that night were 19-year-old goalkeeper Dick Madden, who unfortunately never made another first-team appearance, and centre-half John Cushley, who would be a more than competent understudy to Billy McNeill for the next 4 years, before joining West Ham United in the summer of 1967. Despite the extenuating circumstances and the general mediocrity of Celtic in the early 1960s, the 6-0 defeat they suffered that night was still acutely embarrassing for all concerned. The Glasgow Herald reported on the 28th of March 1963, "A much weakened Celtic were no match at Rugby Park for a Kilmarnock side who gave their best display for some time. Kilmarnock combined pace, power and precision in their attacking moves, and the young visitors had neither the skill nor the experience to stop an almost continuous attack. Every Kilmarnock player was on top of his job and of his immediate opponent." Dick Madden had no luck at the opener after just 9 minutes when he palmed out a free kick and the ball rebounded off a Kilmarnock player and into the net. A well-worked goal on 32 minutes sent Kilmarnock in 2-0 ahead at half-time, and they scored 3 goals in the first 12 minutes of the second half to make it 5-0 with still more than half an hour remaining. Jimmy Dunbar wrote in the Evening Times of the 28th of March, "This super-fit Killie team played with such pace and purpose that I'm willing to wager they'd have beaten stronger opposition. If they had an indifferent player, I did not see him. If they made a mistake, it was only that they failed to make the score even more fantastic by missing some goal chances." The 6th and final goal was scored 10 minutes from time, and the final whistle couldn't come quickly enough for Celtic. Dunbar was scathing in his criticism of Celtic, but time proved his assessment of 2 players in particular to be almost comically wrong. "I was particularly disappointed with teenage outside right Jim Johnstone, a lad of whom we have heard so much. But don't condemn the youngsters. Some of the experienced hands weren't so hot either. Duncan Mackay had a shocking match at right half, Bobby Craig disappeared from the scene, and Steve Chalmers is no centre forward." After that inauspicious debut, Celtic's greatest ever player wouldn't appear again until he turned out against Hearts at Tynecastle on the 29th of April and scored a brilliant individual goal in a 4-2 defeat, playing his way into the team for the 1963 Scottish Cup final against Rangers. But that's another story.